Okay. At any one time in Auckland, there are around about 1,800 young people who are in the care of child, youth and family. About 1,750 of them, or thereabouts, attend their regular school and get a regular education. But there are a number, and our experience has been somewhere in the sort of 30 to 50 range, that are not ready to be able to go into mainstream education. They've had damaging experiences, and yet we as a ministry on behalf of the state have a responsibility to ensure that they have the best chance that we can give them at what is probably their last chance at a good education. And I don't think there's anybody in this room that I would have to point out what the importance of a decent education means to young people.
Well, we basically came up with 3 possibilities. In the ideal world, the best option for these young people is to put them into a regular school and to put wraparound services with them. That's the ideal. All of the research tells us that these young folk are better in the most normal environment that they can be in. But it isn't the ideal world. Putting young people into regular schools with wraparound facilities is an incredibly resource-intense and expensive operation. And the Ministry of Education is starting that process through their positive behaviour initiatives with some success. However, there is a long way to go on that. The second alternative, or the second model we recommended, was that we would need a specialist facility, a bit like an intensive care unit, where young people would come in, they would be assessed by appropriate professionals, and their behaviour would be stabilised, and then a decision would be made about where they would go. Some of them will stay at Thurston Place, others might be assessed and move elsewhere. If you would give me a moment, is to explain the models that we proposed as part of the assessment that we did. I'm not here to justify why the school is in this particular place. I'm here to say...
Sorry, excuse me. First things first, if we can work our way through both of the speakers, then you will have the opportunity to try and get most of that information in one nutshell.
Yeah, we don't want to be brainwashed.
No,
have suffered either serious abuse or neglect issues, and from that, obviously, people who have suffered that level of trauma have a number of issues in terms of that plays out in their behaviour, in their demeanour, that makes it difficult to live and be educated in a mainstream setting. Okay, so this service offers an opportunity to stabilise them, to look at what other services.
It's about a caregiver, it's not about education. If they from poor family, you can find a caregiver for them. It's not about education, because I'm a residential social worker a couple of years ago in the Weymouth residential school, and afterwards I moved to the youth justice north. I know this sort of youth, primary youth. My question is how to deal with 100 of them together. You have any experience, education department or child's family, put them together? Any experience in New Zealand history?